AITA for canceling the wedding because my fiancé made a secret deal with my dad. I, 28F, was supposed to get married 2 months ago to my fiancé, 30M. We had been together for 5 years, and honestly, I thought we had built something really solid together. He proposed during a vacation in Santorini, and it felt like the most perfect moment of my life. The sunset, the ring, his nervous smile, everything felt like it was falling into place. I truly believed I had found my person, the one I'd spend the rest of my life with. Planning the wedding was stressful, but exciting in that overwhelming way that big life events tend to be. I come from a well-off family, and my dad had offered to pay for a large portion of the wedding. It was generous, but it came with strings attached. It always does, with him. My father has always been a bit controlling, especially when it comes to money and financial decisions. Growing up, he used to tell me constantly that I needed to protect myself financially, especially in relationships. Never let anyone take advantage of you, he'd say. Money changes people. At the time, I thought it was just typical fatherly advice, maybe a little overprotective, but coming from a place of love. Sometimes his warnings bordered on paranoid, but I chalked it up to his profession. He's a successful lawyer who's handled his fair share of messy divorces, so I figured he'd just seen too many relationships go south over money. I never imagined his protection would extend to orchestrating secret deals behind my back. 2 weeks before the wedding, my dad and I were having lunch at our usual spot downtown, going over some final guest list details and seating arrangements. Everything felt normal, routine even. We were discussing whether to put his business partner at the head table when he said something that completely blindsided me. I don't remember his exact words, but it was something casual like, "Well, at least now I know he signed the prenup. Money well spent." I literally paused mid-bite, my fork hanging in the air. The words didn't compute at first. I asked him what he meant, and he brushed it off initially, waving his hand like it was nothing. But I pressed him, and eventually the truth came tumbling out. He had approached my fiancé months earlier with a prenup, not a mutual prenup that we had discussed as a couple, not something we had created together with both our interests in mind. This was something my father had drafted himself, completely behind my back, outlining terms I had never seen or agreed to, and my fiancé had signed it. Not only that, but he had accepted a significant sum of money to do so. I drove home that night in a daze, my mind racing through every conversation, every planning session, every moment when either of them could have mentioned this to me. How many opportunities had there been? How many times had I talked about our future, our finances, our plans, while they both sat there knowing about this secret arrangement? When I confronted my fiancé that evening, the look on his face told me everything before he even opened his mouth. He looked like a deer caught in headlights, then quickly shifted to damage control mode. He admitted it all. Yes, my dad had approached him. Yes, he had signed the prenup. And yes, he had accepted the money. His reasoning? He didn't want to stress me out during wedding planning. He said my dad was being intense about it and he just wanted to keep the peace. He claimed he was always planning to tell me about it, eventually. He just didn't know how to bring it up. The part that hurt the most wasn't even the prenup itself, and I want to be clear about that. Honestly, I understand the value of prenuptial agreements, especially given the wealth imbalance between my family and his. I would have been completely fine discussing it openly. In fact, I probably would have suggested one myself eventually. What absolutely broke me was the secrecy, the deception, the complete lack of respect for my agency in my own life. The fact that 2 of the most important men in my life had made a deal about my future without including me felt like a betrayal I couldn't wrap my head around. The fact that money had changed hands made it feel like my marriage was being treated as some kind of business transaction, with me as the commodity being negotiated over. I felt like I was being managed and handled rather than respected as an equal partner in my own relationship. I called off the wedding the next day. It wasn't a dramatic scene like you see in movies. I didn't throw the ring or scream or make a big production of it. I just sat him down and told him calmly that I couldn't enter into a marriage with this kind of fundamental breach of trust hanging over us. The foundation of what I thought we had was cracked beyond repair. He begged me to reconsider. He cried, which I'd only seen him do once before. He said it was a stupid mistake, that he had done it for me, that he didn't want to start our life together with conflict between me and my father. He offered to tear up the prenup, to give the money back, to do whatever it would take to fix things. But the damage was done. He had made a life-altering financial decision about our marriage without even consulting me, and the only reason I found out was because my dad accidentally let it slip over lunch. Since then, everyone in my life has had an opinion, and none of them seem to agree. My mom thinks I completely overreacted and keeps saying I'm throwing away a great relationship over what she calls a technicality. She keeps reminding me how happy we were together, how well he treated me, how hard it is to find a good man. My friends are split right down the middle. Some say I dodged a bullet and that this behavior would have only gotten worse after marriage, while others think I'm being unnecessarily cold and unforgiving. My dad, who caused all of this mess in the first place, is now acting like he was the victim in all of this. He's been going around telling family members that he was just trying to protect his daughter and that I'm being ungrateful for his concern. Meanwhile, my ex-fiancé has been texting and calling nonstop, saying he still wants to make things right, that he's learned from his mistake, that he'll never keep anything from me again. And here's the thing that makes this all so much harder. I miss him. I still love him. There are moments, especially late at night, when I question whether I made the right choice. We had 5 good years together. He was kind, funny, supportive in so many ways. But I can't shake the feeling that if he was willing to hide something this significant from me before our wedding, what else would he be willing to hide in the future? What other decisions would he make for my own good without consulting me? Trust is everything in a marriage. If I can't trust him to include me in major decisions about our shared future, how can I trust him with anything else? The wedding was supposed to be the beginning of our partnership, but instead it revealed that he saw himself as my protector rather than my equal partner. So here I am, 2 months later, still wondering if I made the right choice. The wedding dress is still hanging in my closet, the invitations never got sent. And I'm left trying to figure out if I'm the asshole for prioritizing trust and transparency over love and forgiveness. Like and follow for more relationship stories and moral dilemmas.